going to introduce our speaker today. He is a spiritual medium, healer, and a teacher. He also has his doctorate in University of Metaphysics, and he's awesome.
Good morning, everyone. I want to start today. The first thing I want to start today. There was a thing in a healing book that I read many years ago, and the thing the people would say this before they would do healing. They went, "I am soul. I am light divine. I am love. I am will. I am fixed design." So I'm speaking about paranormal today, trying to bring forth the spirit. It was a question of when we had our event we're having our event this weekend, but the question is, when we move to speak to spirit, we're moving to speak to spirit is for our highest and best, for us. Now, somebody else's highest and best might not be your highest and best, so I'm not going to tell you that you're going to attract the exact same spirits that I would attract. But the attraction of spirit is to you. They're to help you, they're to encourage, they're to bless you on your journey. That is what they are there to do. They're not there to disrupt, harm, or do things in your vibration. They're there to help and encourage. Because your parents, most of the time, I had a parent that probably didn't wish me well, but there was a lot of energy with other people in the family tree. So you'll always have somebody around you that wants the best for you, wants the best. That's what you're looking for. I am soul. You are soul. You are spirit. Now, we will all eventually end up in the spirit world. Maybe an event in Casadega, talking on one of the boxes. Huh? Wouldn't that be awesome? But the question is, we will still make our journey. And our journey will be part of our adventure into the spirit world. We might have forgotten as we are here, but when we arrive, our destiny to move to the spirit side of life, we're going to remember everything about our existence. But the personal identity of the individual will still exist after the change called death. So that's why the spirit will come through and give characteristics of who they were, what they did, what happened in their life. Because if somebody came through and said something totally different to you, you would not recognize them. So the person will come through with that evidential proof that the medium or the person speaking to them has got that individual. So what you're doing is trying to make that connection. Through the machines, through the things that we were using the other night, we saw all kinds of spirit moving into the space. But the question is, I really want people to kind of venture into attracting spirit naturally, within their own vibration. Understanding the spirit speaks to you, speaks to your being, speaks to you constantly. Always there at your side, always speaking to you, always wanting to talk to you. And a lot of times today we're kind of really busy. We're really too busy to kind of just be quiet, to be still. Be still and know that you're God. Be still. In the beginning there was the word, there was the sound. Spirit will speak to you. We just have to make sure that we can listen to spirit, that we can connect to the spirit world. And that's through getting quiet, finding time for your own self to raise your vibration, raise your energy field to connect to them, to understand that you are power. You have that power within your being to do that. You just have to be accepting of it, not be scared, don't be scared of it, but allow it to manifest itself as it moves. You might think that I should have it today. I should be talking to spirit today. Well, it might take you a little bit longer than somebody else, but don't give up. Don't give up on your chance to speak to Spirit. I've been speaking to Spirit since I've been 5 years old. Probably before that, but I remember at 5 when I was speaking to Spirit. That is throughout my whole life. I've always had this connection to them. Always. There's not been a moment in my life I have not had a connection to them. So I've always had that idea that they were speaking to me. Sometimes I will argue with them, have a deep, deep discussion of what they're propelling in my life, but I always know what they are propelling in my life is always best for me. I might not see it at this moment, but I think as we get older in our lives, as we get older, we can look back and we go, I know why that happened. Know exactly why that happened. Because it propelled me to this event, this scenario in my life. So everything has a propelling, whether it affects you on a very much of a soul level, or it affects people that you will come in contact with up the road. You are visiting the space that you are today. So right now, you're visiting this church. In this space today, you were a visitor. So when you leave this church, the next space you go, you will be the visitor. You are not the permanent existence there. Every place you place your feet, every place you go, every place you adventure into your life is, you're a visitor. You're visiting this plane of existence. You will not stay here. We're visitors here. And there are people on the other side that come back to help us. And people always ask me, why doesn't Spirit have something else to do? Why are they messing with me? Because you handpicked the guides, the people to help you as you make your journey, as you make that visit here. There are people there to give you spaces to be, things to do in your life, where you need to be in your life. That is what's happening. So that is why they're always at your side, not to disrupt you or tell you things in your life that you're supposed to throw you off balance. They're there to tell you the correct way, but they cannot take your free will and choice away from you. Don't believe that they can take your free will and choice away from you. They are there to kind of give you a view, but they cannot force you to take the view. So when we listen to Spirit, because when we went in the seance room last night and we were at the door of the seance room, we heard a voice come out from the door and go, "Get out." Well, we didn't get out. We went in anyway. So we had fun. But the question is that if we would have listened to that voice and said, "Get out," sounded kind of spooky. That's what it did. But we went in anyway. But when we turned the cameras on in the seance room, the chair, the cabinet, the mirror, and the wall disappeared. They did not pick it up on the camera. Something was walking through the grid and closing it down. So we knew people were there. People were in that space. And when we do these things, and we had Jody Bellas up here, Jody Martinez up here, and she was talking to an individual. The guy said, "Blue skies." And just as that, I snapped a picture of Jody, and there was this blue box that settled down on top of her. So we had evidential proof that the Spirit was here in the vibration. Some people could believe it, some people will not believe it, it doesn't matter. It was supposed to affect the people that needed to be affected at that moment. Something about the event affects. Same thing as when we do table tipping today, which is phenomenal. A lot of people they'll cry, they'll feel Spirit, they'll understand Spirit, they'll do all this stuff, but it'll affect people at different levels. Same thing as a mediumship reading, which is phenomenal. Because mediums go into a light trance. Some go a little bit deeper, but most people, when they're doing mediumship work, will go into a light trance, which is phenomenal. We don't remember the reading. We're not supposed to. It's not ours. It's not our journey. It's yours. We're here just to give you information, not to remember it and remind you later what we told you. We're supposed to just give it to you and hope you understand that journey. That's what we're supposed to do. And we're all, when we do mediumship work, we're always going into some kind of light chance or channeling spirit through us. Everything has some kind of phenomenon to it when we're doing this work. How we do it, what we put in motion, everything about the work. Everybody might have a different view of how it's supposed to look. But that's good, because you're going to get different perspectives of how spirit works. You're not going to get the exact perspective from every single person here on how spirit works, because it's not how it works for them, it's how it works for you. And if you're the teacher, you're going to be able to tell them your experiences and how it works for you. And they'll take pieces of it, pieces of that vibration, and keep it, and move on the journey. But I always explain to people, don't take everything on the journey. Don't load yourself up with a lot of stuff that doesn't have any major meaning to you, because somebody told you you should remember that. Remember what you need in your life, what you actually want to expect in your life. That's what you should remember. That stuff. Don't gather all this other stuff. It gets you lost somewhere on the path. Gather what you need in your life, what you personally feel works for you. You might be weird. You might be this, but that's okay, because you are at that point in your life that you need to be you. I'm soul, I am light divine. You have light within you. I am free will. I have free will. I am fixed design. You are who you are. Unless you make a drastic change in your life, you are who you are. It doesn't change the vibration until you personally change it yourself. If you believe in phenomena and talking to spirit, great. Because that's something that starts the ball rolling. If you're negative about spirit and talking to spirit, come talk to my guide. He'll convince you that spirit exists. The question is very simple. Every one of us have guides and people in our lives that need to help us break through the messages. For us to be that clear channel from spirit. But sometimes we get a little bit of stuff. As I said, the luggage we carry with us. Get a little bit of stuff in there. We gather or we mess with the message a little bit because we're just trying to give the best information we can. Sometimes it gets kind of messed. But the messages will always weigh itself out. It'll weigh itself out in the end. So listen to yourself. When you're listening to spirit, getting quiet. I told people last night, in the class last night, sit quietly as long as you feel comfortable sitting. Don't believe that you've got to sit for 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Don't do that. Sit as long as you feel comfortable. And when you're ready to get up and go. Don't force yourself to be there, because you'll never experience spirit if you're just forcing yourself to sit in that situation. Get up and go. But make an appointment with spirit. Kind of talk to them. Have a conversation. Talk to them. That works. Thank them every day. Even though you haven't spoken to them today, you haven't said nothing to them, just thank them for being there, for having your back. I thank my guides every day, once in the morning, once at night. I thank them. I have a conversation with them. Because when I do that, I know that they are listening and they appreciate me thanking them for helping, for encouraging me on my path. I know eventually, I'm getting older now, eventually here, I will be in the spirit world. The first point of existence and my existence on the spirit side of life is to come back here and haunt this place. So, have a paranormal investigation, I will be there. But the question is we think that spirit is here, the vibration is here, and it's It's only here because this camp was founded on spiritualism. It was founded to connect to spirit. And over the years, the energy has just built itself up here. That's all. It's a psychometry of the existence of the camp. It's the energy already here, in the houses, in the space, in the church, everywhere. There's energy. That's why it's a little bit stronger here, because it has been done here every single day. When these benches that are in this church, these wood benches, sat out here near Harry Fogle Park, and people would gather out there for growth service in these benches. These benches have energy. They were outside. I'm one of the people, I think a few, I don't know how many people are left in the camp, are the ones that brought them back into the church. These benches were out there. So the question is very simple. Benches have energy. The energy you're sitting into, there have been people sitting in those benches for over 100 years, sitting in those benches and sitting there, listening for their readings from the Spirit. So you're sitting in the holy ground. All this around you signifies energy. When we communicate with Spirit, or we do paranormal investigations, all we're doing is trying to find the energy in the space. That's what we do. And we're trying to find the energy within you, to awaken that. Because when you awaken your energy in your life, you have to get to that point in your life that you blossom. You look ahead of you. Instead of looking down, looking behind you, or looking to the side of you, you look ahead of you. You're no longer stopped in a space. You realize in your life that you were only visiting that space. And you're ready to move forward into the next space. That's why I love meditation, because I never know where Spirit's going to take me. Never really quite know what I'm going to see next. What I'm going to visualize next when I'm in meditation. But it's always a treat. It's always something that they show me. When I discern my guide, my trance guide, they download information into my being from doing trance. So I've been doing trance for many, many years, but that is a download. Every time I go in and allow them to use me as a conduit to speak, I get downloaded information into me. And that's why I know that my journey is still far from over. And we realize that in our lives, that we have to do every day. Try to take one step forward. Stop visiting where you are. Go visit somewhere else. See something else in your life. Put your phone down for a few moments and get quiet. Be patient with Spirit, because they will speak to you. But you have to be able to be open. We told individuals that when you're most tired, you're most exhausted, and you're so tired, oh my God, I'm so tired. That is when you let your barriers down and Spirit just rushes in, because they get a chance to speak to you, because your barriers are not up anymore. So you most have your most connection to your life when you're exhausted. When you've let everything just down and you awaken, you said, there's Spirit here. I felt Spirit. Spirit loves water. You wash dishes, take a shower, they are in the shower with you. So don't worry about it. You've got a group. Ask them to pass the soap. You got a group there. Because they're always there. They're always around you, especially when there's water. They love the sound of water. We got a perfect place out here with the fountain out here they put here in the camp to sit and meditate with the flow of water. Perfect space. They love the flow of water. But find that place within you. If you don't know where that space is, that vibrational space within your life is, ask your guides. They'll be very retrospective in your life. They'll show it to you. It'll be It'll keep showing up in your life. See what your guides are trying to show you to get to know who you are. I'm a spiritualists don't really, most religions and spiritualism don't believe in past life. Well, I do. I'm one of the spiritualists that do. I do believe in that. So I believe that we have all these entities, all these characteristics in our vibration that are part of our cell memory. It's within us. At some point, you were extremely wealthy, extremely healthy. You had beautiful relationships, and you were good looking. So, you can always go back to that. Say, you know, why not that? So, awaken the cell memory. It is already there within you. Some point, probably most of you in this place, at some point, you probably talked to spirit in a lifetime. You had communication with spirit, had a good connection to that. You can awaken that. You want perfect health in your life? You can awaken that. You were healthy in a past lifetime? Awaken that. I spent, a little quick story, I spent a lot of my time with J.C. Knight, Lampa. And when J.C. Knight was in a trance, and she brought through Rampa, Rampa came and put his hand on my chest. I put his hand on my chest. And J.C. Knight did. It was Rampa. And Rampa looked at me and said, one thing he said to me was, in a past life, Lou, you were healthy. Believe it. And he left me. And I remembered that. From the whole event, I remembered that. I remembered that vibration. That in some past life, I was healthy. I could always be healthy. I could always speak to spirit. That has not been a concern for me. But the concern for me is understanding how much further I need to go. That's what the question is. Do I want to stay where I am, or do I want to go further? Do I want to go further in the vibration? That's what you always have to ask yourself, your higher self. How far in this work do you want to go? How far? You can stop, or you can venture forth. I want to venture forth because I haven't seen everything yet. Haven't experienced it yet. I will. But I want to make them know that I'm only visiting in this spot. I will be venturing forth here shortly into another spot. And hopefully the people are nice. They're connected to me. And I can help and encourage them as much as they can help and encourage me. Then when I'm finished in that spot doing what I need to do, I will move to the next part of the journey. So don't think of change in your life as bad. I had a client that she talked to spirit. She's a professional medium. She lost her guide. Boy, she couldn't do readings anymore. The guide was gone. She didn't understand that the guide had to leave because he couldn't help her anymore and a new guide was arriving. But she wasn't looking for the new guide. She was only standing behind the door crying because the old guide wasn't here. If something changes in your life, don't look at what has changed. Look at what they are bringing. The change has happened. It's not going to be to sit there and worry about it. If you're going to worry, why pray? If you're going to pray, why worry? That's what Jerry Frederick would say. The question here is very simple. Is when you have an obstacle, a situation, a vibration within your life, and it changes you. Do not look at what has changed you. Look at what has come into your life to propel you forward. That's what you should look at. Never look at the vibration here. Don't listen to people when they tell you something and you don't agree with it. Walk away from it. If you tell me I'm not healthy, I look sad today, I look not too well today, my response back to you is say, I look just fine till you walked up. So the question with that is, be good to yourself. When you're speaking to spirit, ask for your highest and best. Ask for your connection to the spirit world, your highest and best for you. Attract the spirits that you want in your life to help you. Attract them in your life. You got to remember that some people play little things in your life. They do. I've been married over 40 years. I have spirit boxes and things in my office. Marie likes playing little jokes. She writes in my slates, and she writes in my slates, and she writes in my spirit box. So when I open it up, I get so, oh my God, they're talking to me. And it's not spirit. My wife. I know it's her, because she writes her little eyes with little hearts. Not spirit. But I get a joke, I get a laugh out of it. So the question is you have people, you got to have fun with it. I have fun with this religion. I have fun with talking to spirit. I enjoy my work. And enjoy your journey. Because right now, you are visiting in this space or the spot that you're in. Sure, that visit might not turn out as well as it should. It might just turn out great. But remember, you're going to take another step. You're going to meet another. You're going to visit somewhere else. And pretty soon that visit could be good or it could be bad. But the question is, while you're here, visualize the next part of your visit as being extraordinary. So that when you arrive there, everybody is greeting you and thinking you're the greatest thing that ever happened. That's what I tell my wife. I said, we should go get a cabin up at the Maine, the other spirituals camp. Be up there for 4 or 5 months out of the year. You know why? Because just about the time the people here don't like us, we can go to Maine. And when they get tired of us, we can come back here and these people will be glad to see us. Isn't that great? So the question is, remember, you're going somewhere in the near future, whether it's going to be shortly or in the near future. But remember that next step, that next journey for you. How do you perceive it? Don't look at it as terrible. It's something that you need to worry about. But give it the energy now while you're going through something in your life now, because this soon will change. Look at something new down the horizon that's being extraordinary. And then allow Spirit to put that in motion. I always tell people in this, we're very simple. When you ask Spirit for something, make sure you say, not through accident, not through death. You don't want somebody to die to give you what you need, and you don't want Spirit to beat you up to give it to you either. Let's be pleasant, let's be nice, but I'd still like to have this. Not through accident, not through death. And your guys, and do no harm. Whatever work you do, whatever you do in your life, whatever you propel in your life, do no harm. Do no harm. Don't physically or spiritually do harm. Do no harm. Help as much as you can for your being, because somebody else will step up and help them the rest of the way. Doesn't mean you're going to take everybody exactly to where they need to be. They might need that point of reference, that point of vibration with you, to allow them to move forward, to get in the same path, or visit with somebody else. When I'm in Texas, people will come out on the porch and say, why don't we just sit down and visit here for a while?